But what I really learned now as a CEO is that what you might consider as a weakness can actually be turned into a catalyst for not only your own growth, but also for your clients.
So tell me more. Tell me more about that. I like this.
Yes. I found out that I can connect with my clients on a totally different level, because when I share what's going on in my life, and I speak about this very openly on LinkedIn, for example, and in the book, obviously, they can relate to me in a totally different way. Because you know what? Everybody has something heavy to carry. Yeah. Every single one of us.
Yeah. And so when we can be real, people realize that we are real. Yes. And they connect with us on they resonate with us on a much deeper level, because we're not putting up fronts and facades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Hello, my extraordinary women friends. Today, I am thrilled to introduce you to my friend Katja Pischel, a mountain and nature enthusiast living between Germany and Colorado. Katja has an impressive background as a former executive in corporate tech, with roots in the startup world, and now she brings her expertise to help leaders and entrepreneurs create impactful personal brands. As Germany's top personal branding expert for leaders in tech, Katja has worked with over 300 professionals, helping them build their visibility and craft their careers they truly deserve. She's also on a mission to guide over 1,000 senior female leaders from corporate roles to entrepreneurship, redefining success and happiness on their own terms. In this episode, we'll dive into Katja's inspiring journey, including her transition to entrepreneurship, her personal experience navigating severe health challenges, and the powerful insights she shares in her new book, And Then Life Happened. Katja's message is one of resilience, connection, and the transformative power of women supporting women. Let's meet Katja Pischel. Well, welcome to Extraordinary Women Radio, Katja. It's so exciting to have you here today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, I'm so excited about your book and all that you're putting out into the world. And it's just really good to know you. And you and I have gotten to know each other over the last year or so. And so you spend your time between Germany and Colorado. Tell us how that kind of works out. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, I do have a twin sister, and she has been living in Colorado for over 20 years. So this is why basically both of us are traveling back and forth, because we are very close to each other and want to spend time together.
Oh, I so love that you make time for your sister like that, and that you guys make that a priority. I think that's so beautiful. I think sisters are very special and important to us. So definitely love that. And one of these times when you're in Colorado, we're going to get a chance to go have a cup of coffee somewhere. So I look forward to that.
100%. 100%.
Yeah. I know last time you were here, it didn't work out, but it's like one of these, I know it's going to work out one of these times. So looking forward to it. Maybe when your book launches, you'll have to come here and do a book launch party here.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I like it.
Yeah, I like it too. Let's plan that. I like that. It's like, where can we do that? So I love it, love it, love it. So you've had just a really incredible journey in the world of tech to start with, right? I mean, that's where that really guided you. I mean, that's been your career. And now you've jumped into the world of entrepreneurship. And what inspired you to take that leap? What was that helped you take that leap?
Yeah, I actually knew I would have my own business ever since I have been working for a startup company in the late 90s, because I always say this is how I was socialized in a working environment where there were no structures, no bosses that told you what you had to do. So I just grew into a very intrinsically motivated person and highly self-responsible. And then I did kind of land in tech, and in corporate tech, actually.
Yeah, you were at Microsoft, right?
I was at Microsoft, had an incredible career, made it into the leadership team of Microsoft Germany. But then, and it was in the fall of 2016, life happened. My husband got diagnosed with a severe depression, and that really took everything I had. I never felt so powerless in my life before. And then I realized after a couple of months and still no light at the end of the tunnel, okay, I can have this disease dictate the rest of my life and my career or not. And
Okay.
I chose the second option, and ever since really, pursued a career path that led into entrepreneurship eventually. And then in
Mm-hmm.
2018, my intuition just told me it's time to jump. And then 6 months later, my job got made redundant. So I could leave the
Yeah.
company with the golden handshake, which was very
Oh, which is
fortunate.
always a great thing to leave. I mean,
It is.
that's how I left as well, and it's always a good thing because you actually have some foundation to work from
Exactly.
as you're building your business then. Yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah.
I did use the time before to get like my coaching certificate, and like really
Mm-hmm.
choose the jobs very intentionally, like looking
Yeah,
at what skills were missing. And
yeah,
so has been a great journey.
yeah, yeah. So you started your own business, and then in 2024, you just really faced some incredible challenges of being able to only work with one eye for 2 to 3
Mhm.
hours a day. So tell us what happened and how you kept your business running during this challenging time. Just tell us a little bit about that story.
Yeah. So what actually really happened was I'd say like a regular checkup at my eye doctor totally unexpectedly turned into a super heavy diagnosis.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, I've been visually impaired since I was a little child, but what I learned that day was that the implants that I had in my eyes for over 10 years were fighting my vision, so to speak. So I had to get 4 surgeries, take them out, and just find a new way
Oh
of
wow.
seeing.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and as you said, I mean, this obviously had a major impact on my life and my
Sure.
business.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the way, I mean, I was able to continue to run it was, I think I'd say it was two things. And the first one was I, like in the years before, had really invested heavily on building system and structures. So I had scalable
In your
offers that
business.
I could,
Okay.
yeah, for my business that I could
Mm-hmm.
sell in a very standardized way, because everything that was, too special, I just didn't have the capacity, to be quite honest, to do it. But I could rely on those things that I had developed years ago. And I had built
Fantastic.
a marketing system that brought me um, customers still.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I had the second thing was I, I just was very crystal clear on my priorities and translated them into a very like rigid schedule, because if you only have 2 hours, what are you supposed to do, right? You have to be
Right.
very, very
Right.
clear.
So tell us a little bit about some of the systems you had in place that really helped you, sustain your business through that time.
Yeah. Yeah. So the first is like when it comes to my marketing, I've been building my brand on LinkedIn for over 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I just knew, I came to a point where I knew, you know, if I do regular posts on LinkedIn, I do a proper follow up,
Mm-hmm.
I turn followers from my social engagement into readers of my newsletter, I can then eventually convert them into customers. So this
Nice.
is what I did, like 2 posts per week, one newsletter, and then the focus on like 2 offers, just only 2 offers.
So really simplified, and it's like you took out any of the other things that were there, which
Yes.
makes so much sense to me. I mean, that's something I talk about so often with my clients is how do we simplify things so that you're not, trying to do too many things all at once. And this in this example, you were really forced to narrow down and to be so focused. Tell everyone what it is that you do and what your work is.
Yeah. I work with female leaders and help
Hmm.
them build their personal brand and
Hmm.
signature story to increase their visibility and effectiveness. This
Love
is
it.
like the one thing I do. And I also work with, like I've been one myself, with leaders in the corporate world, female leaders in the corporate world who want to start their own business. I help them
Yeah.
in
You're
this
helping.
transition.
Yeah, we have a lot of lines that kind of cross over here. I love this
Yeah,
so much because so many of
yeah,
my women are, came out of the corporate world and have, built their businesses. And my work that I do in the brand work came out of work that I did in the corporate world.
yeah,
So it was like the one message for the world and the thought leadership
mhm,
work that you build all came out of the corporate world, and I really turned that into work with my clients. So I love how our work, and I've always known that our work was was interrelated, so it's beautiful. I love that. I love that.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So what did you learn from that experience of, the health challenges that you felt, that you encountered in 2024? What did you learn from that?
Um, hmm, that's a great question. Um, I learned that I am resilient to a point that I never could have imagined before.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
this is something that gives me a lot of confidence for
Mhm.
whatever else is out there waiting for me, like the good and the bad stuff, because I just know, I really know I am unstoppable. I mean, I will
Mm.
die. We all will eventually, right? That's
Mhm.
true.
Mhm. Mhm.
But other than that, nothing will, you know, hold me back. So that's
Yeah.
one thing. And
Yeah.
another thing is, and this isn't, it's not a new learning, it's just more like a reconfirmation of something I already knew. I mean, I'm a relationship person. I
Mhm. Mhm.
always prioritize relationships over
Yeah.
anything else. And I really got to experience again the power of true like friendship and love,
Mm. So
because there
being
were
able to
so many
receive
people.
back, right? Because you
Yes,
give so much in what you do, but
yes,
actually to be able to receive back, what a beautiful gift that is.
exactly. And I learned, building on that, I learned to receive and ask for help on a new level, because
Mhm.
I'm a highly independent person. But if you cannot cross the street alone, and if you're not able to cook yourself some food, you
Yeah.
either ask for help or you just sit at home, you know, and die. It's like very
Yeah.
simple.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's interesting because I mean, you think about you left the corporate world to take care, help your husband,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then you needed the help back,
Yeah.
so it's isn't I mean it's like we all go through these journeys of and being able to receive, and I think this is something for women. We give and we give and we give, and that
Mm.
receiving back is so important to be able
Yeah.
to receive back.
Mhm.
How do you when you think about that now today after having gone through that experience, what does that mean to receive back to you?
The way I experience it is it really creates connection on a totally different level.
Mm,
And that is very, it's just very fulfilling. And it's just, it's just something that touches my, actually it touches my soul.
mhm, mhm.
um and i I this is something I integrated into my life now. I'm doing fine right now. Not sure what will happen in the future, but I'm fine right now. But I am asking for help so much more frequently, and I'm
Yeah,
open to receive,
yeah,
like on a totally different level. And that changed the quality of my life, and it
yeah.
changed also the quality of my business.
Yeah, that's what I
I
was
have
gonna go there because it's like it definitely impacts, and I love that it changed the quality of your life. And what did you learn as a CEO of your business through this that changed how you do business?
I've always been, but not always, but ever since my husband got sick, I've been very open about what's going on in my life, because I'm just a firm believer in, if you don't talk about these things, and I don't think this is very, I don't think this is super extraordinary. People get sick, they
Yep.
die,
Mm-hmm.
People get a divorce. This is just a normal part of life. And
Right.
just because our society sometimes seems to, make us believe that it's something extraordinary, it's not. So I'm very open about it. But what I really learned now as a CEO is that what you might consider as a weakness actually can be turned into a catalyst for not only your own growth, but
Mm-hmm.
also for your clients.
So tell
Um,
me more. Tell me more about that. I like
yes,
this.
yes. I found out that I can connect with my clients on a totally different level
Mm-hmm.
because when I share what's going on in my life, and I speak about this very openly on LinkedIn, for example, and in the book, obviously, um, they can relate to me in a totally different way. Because you
Right.
know what? Everybody has something heavy to carry.
Yeah.
Every single one of us.
Yeah. And so when we can be real, people realize that we are real,
Yes.
and they connect with us on a, they resonate with us on a much deeper level because we're not putting up fronts and
Yeah.
facades. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I even think, especially nowadays in a world where, I mean, fake news is omnipresent. Like the
Mm-hmm.
whole social media bubble, especially LinkedIn as well, but especially on Instagram. I mean, it's just a perfectly curated facade, and
Oh,
people are
totally.
sick of this. They are
Yeah. It's
sick.
interesting.
You love
I
it,
saw
right?
I saw a Barbie get changed into an Instagram, what would you call them, an Instagram influencer. It was a Barbie, and they took like all her makeup and redid her makeup, and it was the most ridiculous thing. And I was like, oh my god, that's so what. And you think about it, like Barbie was always this kind of over perfected being to start with, and then they just made her even more over perfected by turning into an Instagram influencer. And I was like, okay, that's just a really aha. It's like, how do we come back to being just who we are through all of this? So really fascinating. Really fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah. So sharing your story. So your new book, And Then Life Happened: How to Navigate Major Health Crises. 7 female leaders share their stories. What prompted you to write this book, and why now? I mean, what was the catalyst for writing this?
The thing is, I didn't choose to write this book.
Mm,
This book chose me.
hmm. Isn't that the truth? That works that way for sure.
Yeah. And it actually, the story is so, it's just, I think it's special. Because on the day when I get my diagnosis, on September 2020, um, I hear the diagnosis.
And this is 2023, right?
It was 2023, actually,
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I hear the doctor, tell me, okay, out of the blue, we will need to take out your implants as they are destroying your eyes. And if you don't act fast, you will lose your eyesight. And by the way, you will need to have corneal transplantation at some point in the future. And
Wow.
my initial reaction, first thought was, oh shit, this is going to have a massive impact on my life and on my business.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
the second thought was, I need to write a book about this. And the title starts with, and then life happened.
Wow.
That's how
So
it
you
was.
right, like on the day, I just got goosebumps off it. On the
in
day that,
in that second in that
wow.
second
Oh my gosh.
and honestly, I see myself sitting there and kind of looking down at myself, laughing and saying, hey universe, did you just hear what news I got? I need to prepare myself for several surgeries, and if you want
You
me
want
to
me to
write a
write a
book,
book now?
I need clear instructions. That's what I say, and I'm not going
Yeah.
to do anything because I don't have any capacity. And then the most magical thing happened. I just let my intuition guide me through the process. And I
Oh,
got
wow.
more and more information. The book needed to be written in English. Eventually, I knew it wasn't only about my story, but also about the story of 6 other women. And then it told me actually which women I should reach out to. And now it's the book is written. It's you can buy it. Actually,
Wow.
so cool.
That's amazing. Congratulations. And
Mhm.
how did you trust that that voice of you saying
Yeah.
you've got to write a book in the mix of all of this?
I just always told myself, you don't have to do this, Katja. So if you at any point throughout the process feel you cannot do it, you just stop. I mean, nobody's forcing you.
Right.
And I've said again and again, universe, I need clear instructions. I don't have a lot of capacity. And then, there were many, many weeks where nothing happened because I was like overwhelmed with all the medical stuff I had to
Right.
deal with.
Right.
But then I would, through, I don't know, a walk or a meditation, get another download.
Mhm.
And then
Mhm.
I would act on it. And then I would wait a little bit. And then the whole thing I started writing in July 24,
Yeah.
and then it just was very quick.
Wow. That is really quick. It's very quick. So it came to you
Yeah.
and all the right people came to you. So all the right pieces. So the universe was all
Yeah.
in behind you on this. Yeah. So you've
Yes.
said that health crises can become a source of strength and a catalyst for
Yes.
growth.
Mhm.
How has your own challenges shaped your personal and professional life? We've hit on this a little bit, but is there anything else you want to add on to that?
Yeah. Like it has changed because I was, facing a situation where like all the practices I like most of the practices I'd used in the past to run my business didn't work anymore. For
Hmm.
example, I there was no such thing as planning, like no such thing as planning in the
Right.
beginning.
Hmm.
So I once again I learned to connect to my intuition in a totally new way.
Hmm.
And when it told me, okay, now you're ready to start doing groups again, I would start doing groups again, just putting the offer out, marketing it, and it worked.
Right.
Um, so my planning cycle has totally changed. I now have a planning cycle which is like 3 months,
Hmm. Hmm.
um, and that works. That works actually quite well. So this is something that changed. I am so much more relaxed
Yeah.
because honestly, when you are faced with something like this, so many other things become irrelevant,
Yeah.
at least for
Yeah.
me. I mean,
Oh
I
yeah,
knew
totally.
before that health is the most precious thing we have, but
Yeah.
I learned again on a totally different level.
Yeah. And I think that's a really important thing for us to keep in mind as business owners. There's going to be things that come
Yes.
up in our lives
Yeah.
that makes our business less important at that moment. I mean, my I lost my sister almost 7 years ago, and when she was going into hospice in that last month of her life, I I turned my business off. I was like, I can't do this right now,
Yes.
and I need to be
Yeah.
somewhere else.
Yeah.
And it was the best decision I ever made because we had really special moments, right? We had just the
Hmm.
most treasured
Hmm.
moments during that
Hmm.
time. And every single one of my clients was like, they were so on board with me making that pause. And I
Yes.
think that's a really important thing is just like we're people and we show up in our businesses and we serve and we get to make choices sometimes that, is whether it's for our own health or somebody we love. And,
Hmm.
there's just circumstances that are going to come up that we have to make different choices sometimes. And
Right.
when we can build businesses that can sustain through that. And that was one of the things I was blown away with because I had a great year that year.
Hmm.
From a
Yeah.
from a business perspective, my
Yeah.
business did really well, and it, I took that time away, and it was all okay. And so I think that's something for us to. That's the beauty of having our own business is that we can make those kinds of choices and step away
Yeah.
from. Like when we were in the corporate world, we probably wouldn't be able to make you know, that big of a shift like that. So
Hmm.
yeah, I think it's a beauty of having businesses that allow us to do what's most important for us. So
Exactly. And one other thing that came out of this, I mean I've always been a pretty fast decision maker, but
hmm.
now, I just, I mean there's nothing I can lose anymore. That's
Mm.
how it feels to me.
Mhm.
So I did take a leap that I've been thinking about for a little bit, and this is going international with my business. I mean,
Yeah.
I did have some international customers before, but I was focused mainly on the German market. But
Mhm.
now with the book, because this was one of the instructions I got that it has to be written in English, it I realized, okay, so this is the next step now.
Yeah.
It's very
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah. That is exciting. I love that. So your message is rooted in the power of women supporting women. Why
Yes.
you and I believe this with our core of our heart, right? And why is
Yes.
this so crucial and why is it especially important right now?
Um, I feel it's especially important right now because it will be on us to lead like the next um, evolution of what our world will look like.
Mhm.
And we
Yep.
simply cannot afford, you know, to miss, to not have like every woman who's ready for this to live her true potential. We
Yeah.
just cannot afford.
Yeah. I so agree with that. And I mean, I always say that women's wisdom is the medicine our earth needs right now.
Yes.
Right. And it's like this is the change that is going to happen. And it's
Yes.
not easy change that any woman is leading anywhere.
Yes.
And so we know that. And so supporting one another and lifting each other up is so important. And I know the work that you're doing as far as like really helping women in tech develop
Mhm.
their voice and put their voice out into the world.
Mhm.
Why is that so important right now in the world of tech?
Um, I think it's especially important right now with the technological changes we are seeing, like
Mm-hmm.
the rise of artificial intelligence. And I've
Mm-hmm.
been in tech for over 20 years. I'm a huge fan,
Mm-hmm.
and I see
Mm-hmm.
all the opportunities and possibilities there are. And I see at the same time that you know people still follow people,
Yeah.
and people buy from people, and people
Yeah.
want, like from the bottom of their heart, want to connect with other people. So like every woman who knows who she is, what she stands for, what she is here to do, can
Yeah.
lead and take others along with her in, at a totally different level.
Yeah. And I think there's what's popping up for me is that our voices really matter and we can't outsource our leadership of thought or we can't
No.
AI our leadership of thought even, right? I
No.
mean, we can't, it's like the who we are and what we stand for and that
Mhm.
leadership that we're bringing out into the world, it's got to come from within. That core of
Exactly.
who we are and
Yes.
the work that we're meant to do and the how we want to lead the change that we're bringing about,
Mhm.
that's got to come from within. And then yes,
Yeah.
we can leverage all the tools around us and help that um, you know help build upon that. And but it's got to come from within. So I love that this is what you're doing with women in tech. I think
Mhm.
it's that was my background initially too, was in the world of tech. I was in the software
Mhm.
industry. And it's I like I mean, I love the tech industry. I thought
Mhm.
it was really good to me. And I also think about spaces where I could have been raising my voice in different ways
Yeah.
as a leader in that space.
Mhm.
And, I, to me, so I love that this is the work you're doing there and really helping women get their voices and their messages out.
Yeah.
So, where can people learn more about you and where can they get your book? Tell us a little bit more.
Yeah, so the book is available on Amazon, and I'm sure you probably have an opportunity to share a link
Yep, we will
afterwards. Yeah,
definitely do that.
perfectly. Yeah, perfect. And I think the best place to learn about myself is either through LinkedIn or
Hmm.
through my website, bridgebuilderforchange.com.
Excellent, excellent.
Yeah.
And then the final question I always close with are what are three pearls of wisdom you'd like to leave with us today?
What was that?
Three pearls of wisdom.
Ah, I love that. Um, this is a good one. So, number one, you don't have to do it all by yourself. Number two, you are not alone in what you are experiencing.
Good.
And number three, you deserve this.
Nice. Nice. I love it. I love it. Well, Katja, I'm so excited. I'm excited to read your book. And I'm going to be pushing that Amazon button, getting my own copy as soon as it's out, because it's not out today, but by the time this airs, it will be out. So
Yeah.
people will be able to grab that. And it's been a pleasure spending time with you today and hearing more of your story. Thank you so much, and thank you for all that you're doing for women in tech.
Thank you so much, Cami, for having me and for being the wonderful woman that you are with all that you do.
Oh, thank you so much. We'll see you soon. And see you in Colorado soon.
Yes,
Okay.
100% see you in
I love it.
Colorado.
Yeah. Okay.